The 1A nine-man championship game will be the second one on Saturday, the middle of three, and it pits the Wind River Cougars against the Big Piney Punchers, visiting with Big Piney head coach Jeromy Moffat. And Jeromy, Big Piney is a program in its history that's had a lot of success in state championship games. Do you draw upon that fact with your kids? Have you even kind of sought out the history of Big Piney in state championship games in football?
Yeah, one of the things we have talked about, since I took this job 2 years ago, was the tradition of Big Piney football and the culture of Big Piney football. And actually, last season, one of the first things we did was I had four former state championship players. My dad was one of them, so it was pretty cool. Full circle moment. Come in and talk about that tradition and the state championships that they had won and the effort that it took to win a state championship, and just what it meant to them to be a Big Piney Puncher and having that legacy throughout their lives of being a state champion. And so yeah, that's very important, not only to us as a coaching staff, but we've really tried to ingrain that in our kids. And I think they've really soak that in and understand that Big Piney football does have a good tradition.
Now you guys are making your first trip to Laramie for a championship game. What are you kind of going through with planning and talking to the kids about what to expect on such a big stage?
Right. The one thing I really liked about going into last week, the semifinals, is I felt like our kids, they belonged in that moment, and I think they played their play showed that, if you know what I mean. And so we're excited to get down to the war. We've had a picture of War Memorial hanging up in our locker room that the kids touch every single day as we walk out to practice, and it's going to be a special experience because a lot of those kids have never been to the war and they've never seen it. And as a Wyoming football fan and a Wyoming sports fan, that's hallowed ground down there at War Memorial. And so we're looking forward to it being a special experience, but we're also going down there on a business trip, knowing what we need to do down there. So it's going to be a special weekend.
Speaking of business, you took care of it and then some on the road last Saturday. What'd you take away from your team's semifinal win at Lingo Fort Laramie?
Yeah, it was a total team effort. Going into the first round against Pine Bluffs and getting that victory was a big step for us, I thought, as a program. And going into Lingle, the kids actually, Pine Bluffs was a great team, and we played. I thought we played like a great team as well and pulled out that victory. And it seemed like to us that we didn't get that respect that we deserved after that victory. And so some of the kids, a lot of the kids kind of took that personal. And so going into Lingle, they were on a mission to earn that respect. And I think we came out firing on all cylinders. We knew Lingle was very good offensively, very fast, and they put some points on us. But we were really excited about some of the opportunities they gave us on defense with our offensive weapons, and we just came out firing and ready to go. It was a special day up there or down there at Lingle.
Now you get ready to rematch against Wind River. I talked with you and Coach Frederick. That was one of our games of the week back in the regular season. I know you were a little bit banged up. You had some turnover issues that game. What do you take away from the regular season meeting, if anything, against Wind River?
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with them. They're pretty familiar with us. It's an interconference matchup. It's not often you get to play each other twice in the same season. We did learn a lot from that loss over there. I'm not going to make any excuses. We were beat up. We were sick, a lot of us, but they made plays on a few of our mistakes. The kickoff return and the pick six was a difference in the game. But that being said, our kids learned a lot from it. We were able to establish some depth going forward because we really hadn't been healthy since Rocky, and weren't healthy again till Riverside. And so that gave our younger kids some time on the field and some experience. And, we know it's going to be a dogfight. We know it's going to be a hard hitting physical game. The kids know us. They know our kids. It's going to be a fun one.
So you know that They probably are going to make some adjustments. They know you're going to make some adjustments. So what do you kind of emphasize and stress in as you prepare for the championship game with your team?
I think the biggest thing is the head coaches. I'm trying to emphasize that we focus on us and our responsibilities, our assignments. There's some things offensively that I like coming in healthy that I think we can expose if we execute. Defensively, they run that stacked eye. I'm sure we're going to see that, and that's kind of a statement type offense where they try to move the chains and stay ahead of the chains. And so we know that that's going to be a big formation we're going to have to practice on. But they also ran, some bunch with some motions and stuff that we're going to work on. And, they were able to pass it on us a little bit that last game. And so, we're just going to game plan. We're not going to reinvent the wheel by any means, but we got some things we're working on.
Jeromy, that's all I needed from you. Thank you for a few moments. Wish you best luck, and we'll see you down here on Saturday.
Sounds great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We continue talking about the second title game on Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the 9-man championship as the Wind River Cougars take on the Big Piney Punchers and visiting with Wind River head coach Rod Frederick. And Rod, there hasn't been a lot of great history of success, I guess you will say, in terms of Wind River getting the championship games. I believe this is the third in school history, if I did my research correctly. What does this mean to the high school, the you guys on the team, the coaches, the administration, everybody in that community up there in Pavilion?
It's wonderful. It's pretty amazing to see. I think you're right. It is the third time. I think the last time they went or one, it was in 97. But even just this week, I've gotten emails from community members, and just definitely from the administration, parents, everybody. Like, we just been flooded with emails, and it's awesome. It's so awesome to read everything, and we know that we have their support, and they're all coming to Laramie, and it's excellent.
We'll talk a little bit about the semifinal win. Boy, yours was a barn burner. Came right down to the wire. You had to stop a 2-point conversion that would have tied the game. What did you take away from your team's performance in the semis?
Oh my God, it was. I guess the best thing that we took from it is that we knew they were going to, I mean, we knew they had the fight in them. And we really hadn't had to see that for a while. I mean, first game against Riverside, we did. That was our game one. Then turn around game two against Big Piney. I mean, we had to fight and come back on that one. And then after that, we kind of had we were getting our seconds in and playing. But until we got to Southeast, I think that was one we really needed. I mean, it was good for the kids. The kids, even the seniors even said it, they're like, man, this was perfect. This is just what we needed before we go to state. Because they had to come back and fight. I mean, they really did. They had to fight and claw their way back in. And we knew we had to stop that 2-point conversion. That was a big thing we were talking about on the side. And man, Rowdy Shear came out and made a hell of a play. It was so awesome.
You guys as a program have been kind of one of the top teams in 9-man, but you finally broke through the proverbial glass ceiling a little bit. What do you think it took to finally break through this year, Rod?
God, it's a hard one because, I mean, we had a great team last year. We really did. We lost some good seniors. But I think the overall, the coaches, we were all just talking about this. I think it's the class of seniors and a couple juniors that we have in there right now. And, we had good weight room over the summer. We've got kids that are at practice, and there's kids that are screwing around, and the seniors are calling them out and telling them to stop. You guys got to get better. Stop doing this. That was one of the big talks that, like Cooper had first practice on Monday. He was like, hey, these got to be good. Or even before we started practice, we got to be perfect. Everything's, no more screwing around. You guys make sure you're doing your job. And when you have kids like that are taking over and it's not coming from the coaches, it changes the whole atmosphere of the team.
All right, you get a rematch against the conference foe. So you've seen this team in the last couple of years. What do you look at when you see Coach Moffat's bunch right now from Big Piney?
I mean, we know they're good. I mean, we had a tough game with them last time. The only thing I can see different is, I mean, well, they're still, I mean, they've got Clifford back there in the backfield, Gurr catching passes and running the kids fast. We know they're going to be tough. It's going to be it's definitely not going to be one that we can walk into and think we're going to win this right. Just stepping off the bus. We're going to have to go play. Their quarterback's good. He can throw the ball. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know they're going to be tough. I think the only thing that we're looking at is when we played them last time, that was our game too. And I mean, I think we had 19 or 21 penalties for like 150 plus yards. And that's stuff that we've really cleaned up over the last, 7 games.
Okay.
And we're not fighting that battle right now. So that, I think we know we got to come play, but I think we're in a better spot right now than we were last time we played them. So that's kind of where we're basing everything off of, and just, we're not adding anything new. We're just coming out ready to play.
Well, I thought, and I talked with you and Jeromy because I was one of our game of the weeks that week back before the regular season matchup, and I thought it kind of came down to that interception that Cooper had, and then the kickoff return.
Yeah.
So as you think about that, they're going to make some adjustments. You're going to make a few adjustments. What are you stressing to your team this week as important things that you're kind of thinking about for a championship game, Rod?
I guess the biggest thing we've been stressing this week is just do your job. Okay. Don't try to do somebody else's. Don't chase. Make sure you're staying home and do your job. And that's really what it comes down to. We got kids that love to hit. Coaches, we were talking about this the other day. We've got kids that just as soon, like, they want to be on defense. Like, they love playing on defense, and they're even our offensive starters. They're good. But if they can they love hitting. And I think that's a difference that we bring this year. We haven't seen that. I've been out here. This is my 5th year, and second as the head coach. But man, we haven't seen this. We got kids that love it. I mean, they want to make a highlight reel with hits and then with touchdowns. But it changed the whole dynamic of the team. And I don't know. But we stress that anyways. Like, I go back to your question. Just we know everybody has their own position, and we've been stressing that and going over it in practice and everything. Like, here's your job, stay here, do it, and we take care of business.
Lastly, it's a big stage down here in Laramie, a War Memorial Stadium. How do you get your guys to kind of look past and overlook the whole atmosphere and everything that goes into it, and just basically realize this is a football game, just another football game? How do you get past that quickly?
Oh man, I don't know. I think it's a tough one because I guarantee you we have kids that have never stepped foot in War Memorial. So when they finally get there and see how big it is and see everything, it's probably going to be a little shock and awe. But, we've just stressed, the whole thing. I mean, it's just a football game. We got to go win. We have one more. And if we don't show up, we don't win. I'm like, so that's what you've got to come. You got to come ready to play. We've been showing them stuff like, look at the war, look how big it is. We get a good fan base here, and that good fan base in Laramie is going to, probably be like crickets, I mean, it's so big. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to get there early, hopefully Friday, and we'll get over there and get to let them watch some 3A and maybe, or the, some of that going on, the gotcha. 2A and the 3A, just so they can experience what it's going to be like. And then hopefully that'll get them kind of cured a little bit.
Rod, that is all I need from you. I wish you nothing but the best. We'll see you down here in Laramie, and good luck on Saturday afternoon.
Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate it.